You are feeling extremely defeated, really in this space of grief, mourning. It seems like you just closed out a lot of painful things, released a lot of painful things internally. We have the Five of Cups, which talks about grief, mourning, and sadness, focusing in on these three cups, like really that grieving moment. Then we have the Hermit card with the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords feels like defeat. But the tens represent closings, closing out of chapters, closure. Leaving heart, like the hardest part is over. You've closed this out, but it feels like you have been defeated internally. It feels like a lot. The Hermit card is going within for guidance. This is very internal. And there's a reason for that. Like, you are going through a major shift in like your internal reality, internal self at your core. The Seven of Cups talks about confusions. There can be kind of this like hazy fog, illusions, disillusions. It can also talk about like a lot of options, a lot of pathways. And then we have the Death card coming out sideways position. When things come out sideways, I see it as the energy that is currently shifting, what's currently being taken place. And it's this sense, and the Death card doesn't represent literal death. It talks about huge transformations, metamorphoses. Like, you are like rebirthing here, and you are slowly making progress forward through that. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, but all the knights talk about action and movement forward. And the Knight of Pentacles, with it being the Pentacles, it's building something that is long-term and stable and like grounded. And it feels like it has been like a slow moving process, and that's because it has. Growth takes time. And it feels like you are in the midst of this. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. And this talks about gaining a different perspective, seeing things in a different light. The Hanged Man, they have tied themselves upside down willingly by their foot to see the world in an upside down view, so they can see things differently, thinking outside of the box. It's also the card of enlightenment. 222 on the timer as I say that. This is the card of enlightenment. You are finding enlightenment within yourself. You could be having a lot of epiphanies, revelations, again, different like paradigm perspective shifts. Anything else? Yeah, you are moving forward. There has been a lot of pain in the past, but there's going to be new opportunities in front of you. And you going through this shift is naturally going to start attracting things that is meant for you. Your dreams, you like new opportunities. The King of Swords came out, could represent an air sign, doesn't have to resonate, but this is very clear-minded thinking. This is very logical side of things. This is being, you could feel very disconnected with your emotions at the moment, because I'm not seeing a lot of cups energy here except for that Seven of Cups, which talks about confusion. And maybe needing to reconnect with that heart space more, just because of, it seems a little imbalanced here. But there's this sense of thinking logically through things, but you're building something and change is coming in. You're building new foundations for yourself. I just heard new standards for yourself. The Eight of Wands talks about fast change and fast communication, taking fast action. And the Three of Pentacles is building a blueprint for the future, building a stable foundation, building something, coming together to collaborate. And the Six of Wands talks about moving on to calmer waters, leaving the harsh times behind. The Nine of Wands talks about there has been trials, there have been tribulations. You've went through, you've been injured, and you've picked yourself back up, and you're not giving up, you're persevering. And the Page of Pentacles are, again, new opportunities, new beginnings. Building something stable and long-term for yourself. Again, the Magician, what you focus on will grow. It's a reminder for that. It's the manifestor of the deck saying that you have everything that you need already within you. And then we have the Sun card, the most positive card in the deck. Happiness, harmony, bliss. This is healing. Like, this is something being illuminated for you. Illumination. And then we have the Four of Pentacles and the Judgment card behind that. And there's this sense of, yeah, The Four of Pentacles can talk about holding on to something too tightly, holding your cards close to your chest. It's also this sense of like, not necessarily greed, but like sense of lack mindset. And it feels like you need to loosen up those grips, like loosen up the grip. And then we have the Judgment card, which talks about being divinely guided, knowing that you're protected, knowing that you are on a divine path, and that there's angels, guides, God, source, universe, whomever it is, supporting you through this. And then we have the King of Cups, again, getting back in touch with that cup, that emotional space, our heart space, but also like having that balance between the logic and the heart. And we go in and we sway from the mind to the heart a lot of the time, but when we come into true alignment, it's when we can mesh those, just like meshing the spiritual to the physical realm. And the King of Cups talks about emotional maturity as well, having that deep care, and it feels like this is a very quiet energy as well. You could be going through this quietly, but you are making progress, you are growing, and you are expanding. You are being guided through this, and I know it feels tough and it feels like it's been a long process, but there is, I literally split the deck. The Fool card and the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands talk about winning the battle, overcoming things, achievements, being recognized for your worth, success, and victories. The Fool card talks about trusting in the universe and taking that leap of faith. It's a new beginning, and you could be on like the hero's journey. You might want to look into that. And very much, what's the word that I'm looking for? Look into the hero's journey. But you are going through this, and you're going to make it through this successful. And I know it's tough, but you have the strength. You have the strength to persevere, to make it through. Yeah, you are moving forward. Progress is being made. And it feels like maybe you feel stuck within this, but it's because you're in the thick of it that you cannot see your growth. Know that you are growing. I am so proud of you, and be proud of yourself. I think that is all that I have for you today. I really hope that it resonated. If it did, please leave a comment, interact with these buttons. If it didn't, leave it for someone else. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, please check out my website, tapaingadoestarot.com. Please be aware of scammers. I'm never going to reach out to you and ask you for money. Scammers do that, not me. I love you. Take care of yourself, especially through this transition. And it feels like you are leaving. There's so many paradigm shifts, like so many perspective shifts. You are leaving, like you were saying goodbye to your old self almost. I think that's all that I have. Yep, I love you. Take care.